I want to introduce this idea of a string pattern. This is a reusable design pattern, which is an idea that actually came from the software engineering side. And it's a design pattern for text. This can live in the design system with components so that everybody gets a leg up when they're starting designing. So I'm going to walk you through just a few. There's more of them in the book, but we are limited on time, so I just want to hit a few. Let's talk about titles. When we're talking about, for each of these examples, I'm going to talk about why we might use it at all, why have text here, what's its purpose, and then give notes about the pattern. And where you see curly brackets here, it means to replace the whole curly bracket term with the kind of content that's inside it. Straight brackets means providing an option. So I'm really digging deep to our software engineering roots here and giving you some code for these patterns. So for a title, its purpose is to clarify, hey, user, take this action. And a really good pattern for that is to start with a verb the noun. So in this example from the Etsy app, shop our outdoor sales event, right? It could be shop the outdoor sales event, but they've gone a step further and improved the voice and say, no, shop our outdoor sales event. They want to make that community really feel tight here. And notice that it's the same verb in the title as in the button. Let's talk about that button. The purpose of the button is to let that person navigate or act. In this case, on this eBay app, which was out of date, it's don't forget to update your app, right? So they're not following that title pattern that I just said, but they are using that verb update. And that is the verb that's in the button, update now. And the pattern here is verb the noun, or verb now. So descriptions. So the purpose of a description, the only reason to have these descriptions on the text is to set expectations, establish the brand, or reduce liability, right? This is not a great place for instruction because research shows people don't tend to read these. So really just set expectations, establish brand, reduce liability. And there's some great patterns for this. You can say to do X, verb the noun, or verbing the noun helps you do X. Also, if X happens, you'll see Y. And Y, the letter Y, not Y-W-H-Y. So in this description, it kind of has a part of that in the you'll be notified if someone you were near reports a positive COVID-19 test result. Right? That's a lot like that third pattern. Hopefully you can see that if you started with that initial pattern, you would have iterated to this point. And we'll talk about that process in a moment. Let's talk about transitions and confirmations. So the purpose of a transition is to confirm that an action is happening, even if there's no other indication. And the confirmation purpose is to inform or reassure a person that the process is complete. So for the transition, we want to say, verbing the noun, and the confirmation can match that, verbed the noun. So you'll see here in Google Docs, which you can use hopefully wherever you are, saving appears while you're typing. And then as soon as you stop, it says saved to drive. For languages that don't have present or past or other verb tenses, this can be a lot more challenging to write for. Just a note there. So notifications. Here's another super common one. The purpose of a notification is to inform or remind someone to engage with the experience in a particular way. It's always got to be about something relevant to them that they are engaging in. So this one, the Lyft app, to do X, verb the noun, or verbing the noun helps you do X. These are great short ways to start. And this one is very straightforward. It's the mask up, which is the verb here, to move forward. And then we've got wearing a face covering is required to ride. And so this is the last pattern I'm going to show you in this brief set. When you have a blocking error, right? So we have errors in all of our experiences because sometimes things just fail. And if we don't plan for that, then we leave people sort of hanging there, not knowing what to do next. We need to increase their confidence. We need to be a good host of their experience within the experience. And what we can do with these error messages is to help people meet their goal anyway. So here we use a combination of patterns. The title can be the problem name, and then the description is, because of that problem, you can't X. You can't do this thing until this other thing happens. So this error I actually found on the Among Us game. Among Us auto 2526 forcibly disconnected because, reliable packet without response. This was not an error that helped me as a player move forward. If I were to suggest a rewrite to that team, I would say, disconnected from server. Because your computer didn't respond to our server, you can't play until you reconnect.